Ung efter mudnet fi escape stole promissa and smudgensum. The fire escape stairwell behind our building keeps its own weather. After midnight, concrete learns to echo less. The red exit letters hum like saints that stayed past their shift, and the air smells like copper, detergent, and a rumor of rain. I slipped through the service door with my phone face down in my palm like a coin I wasn't ready to spend and slid it into my left pocket, the pocket I use for things that are supposed to make it home. Somewhere above, a door closed softly, the kind of courtesy men practice when they're not sure they deserve to be forgiven. Back home, Oven had said, "Can we talk tomorrow?" in the voice that means please stay now. Our couch passes the bar exam whenever we sit on opposite ends. I left before either of us filed opening statements we'd resent by breakfast. On the stairwell, my screen lit with a message from Ruffall in my contacts are in the way I label hazards to make them smaller, landing between 4 and 5. Just talk. Roofs forgive nobody in daylight. Fire stairs pretend they will. By day, I fix other people's paragraphs. By night, I try not to turn my own into weapons. Oven and I keep a code that works when we remember it. T means come here, you awake. Means I'm scared. Tomorrow means not yet, but don't go far. Ruffalo drifted back into orbit 2 months ago wearing a denim jacket unbuttoned one too many and a laugh that sounded like a glass agreeing to be set down gently. He didn't ask for anything. That was how I started bringing him everything. He was already there, of course, landing between floors, elbows on the rail, collarbones remembering their job. The emergency map bolted to the wall made the building look obedient. He didn't smile with his mouth. He let the corners of his eyes do the moral labor. "You came," he said, "because grown men never stop pretending arrival is a plot twist." "I came to return something," I said. "My spare key, your good sense." "Your name," I said. "It's been on my mouth too long for its own health." He tapped the plastic map with a knuckle and produced a dry erase marker from his jacket as if the stairwell paid him to annotate its faith. "3 words," he said, uncapping it. "Why are you here?" "3 words is cruel," I said. "That's why they work." He pressed the felt to the corner of the map where some other man had given up drawing straight lines. "No speeches on stairs. We miss steps." I wrote proud at breakfast. Beneath it, smaller like a fuse I wasn't sure I'd dare to light, touch before arguing. He read the ink as if it had temperature. He didn't touch me. His hand hovered a breath from my lapel, the distance a match keeps during training, and fell away like the red letters had opinions. "Does he know?" Ruffall asked. He didn't need to weaponize the pronoun. "He knows the apartment is quiet," I said. We stood in the noise the building makes when everyone thinks they're being merciful. He stepped into my weather, heat arriving before hands do when men are trying to be better than their appetites. "Tell me no," he said softly. I didn't. I met him in the inch that rewrites evenings. His mouth tasted like mint and a risk that keeps receipts. When his hand found the back of my neck, his grip remembered humane limits. My body answered like a courtroom that wants the witness anyway. He made the sound men make when a small country surrenders and calls it diplomacy. I made the one I have stopped apologizing for when it belongs to him. We didn't rush. Stairwells reward balance, not speed. His mouth found the hinge of my jaw. Mine found the line behind his ear where regret loses vocabulary. His palm slipped under my shirt and rested flat a second. "Do you swear?" Then moved with attention rather than appetite. He guided my hand down with the steadiness of someone who respects tools. I closed my fingers and he exhaled into my mouth a truth nobody paid to hear. He reached for me and I let him. We stayed quiet because concrete prefers prose. The exit hum approved, faint and ridiculous. "We already cheated," he said when breath remembered employment. We cheated when we started telling each other the truth before we told it at home. I know, I said. A slow drop from the emergency light found the floor and invented a law about gravity. He wiped the marker across a blank margin and drew a small arrow toward a square labeled "You are here." He didn't label me. He didn't have to. I booked a room, he said, not triumphant. Weather report, not prophecy. Refundable. We could stand at a window and not touch for 60 seconds just to prove we remember ceremony. We could keep the do not disturb honest. I'm tired of being clever, I said. Clever's a fire drill, he said. Accurate is evacuation. He reached into his jacket and produced a novelty magnet shaped like an exit sign, freebie from a trudcia, ridiculous and perfect, and pressed it into my palm. For your fridge, he said. Cold helps letters behave. We're pretending this is logistics, I said. We're practicing a different failure, he said. Come down one floor or go up two. Either choice will feel like knowing the building better. A door opened on 5. A quiet couple turned the corner and didn't look at us. The stairwell recognized their discretion and raised ours. Raphael kissed me again, brief, exact, something a maintenance log could keep without lying to itself, and stepped back the moral inch that passes inspection. Text me a weather report in the morning, he said. Tell me if the kettle beat the reasons. It usually does, I said, when we let it. I climbed down because gravity is persuasive when it is also decent. The alley smelled like metal and rain that had given up. The crosswalk gave me time, I took it. The apartment offered its square of kitchen light and the fridge's patient hum. Oven sat on the floor with his back against the door, sleeves pushed to his elbows, one ankle crossed over the other. The posture manuals use when they draw people who are about to fix things. He didn't ask where I'd been. He tilted his head toward the place beside him. I sat. Do you want to be asked? He said, voice steady, not performing mercy, offering it. Please, I said, because prompts are the scaffolding of my better self. Are you lonely? Some nights, I said. Not here, not when you ask first, not when the kettle outruns the reasons. I took his wrist and placed his hand on my forearm the way he does when he needs to be sure I'm not inventing weather. His thumb traced once and decided to believe me. I feel useful, he said. I want to be wanted before I'm useful. Tonight's procedure, I said. Touch first, argue second, report later. The kettle clicked like a stamp in a country that still trusts the mail. He stood and poured water over mint. We named it dinner because names are cheaper than regret. I took the emergency map printout Raphael had slipped under the hard plastic and pinned a photocopy beneath the exit magnet so that Proud at Breakfast faced the room. Oven read the ink and his mouth did the smaller, braver thing. He took the dry erase marker from the cup by the fridge and wrote beneath the sign, Tomorrow, keep the torque. He didn't grin. He nodded like a man assembling a morning from honest screws. We made a rule that isn't noble. When prosecution tries to wear a bathrobe, one of us says stairwell and the other puts the kettle on while the first puts his hands where history can find them. 5 words when 5 are enough. Stop at the shoulder, not the ditch. Try to want what we promised, and when we don't, write 3 words on small paper and tell the room where we failed and how we'll fail differently tomorrow. Days do what days do when you're trying to be an amateur human with professional consistency. The copy in my pocket learns the shape of my left hand. Paper learns its carriers. On the late bus, I draft messages to no one that begin I didn't ask because I thought that counted as kindness and end may your breakfast go right. I don't send them. The not sending feels like a skill borrowed from exit signs that hum all night and never get to leave. A week later, afternoon tries to be a test. I walk past the stairwell and buy nothing. I leave a bottle of water on the landing with a note. For whoever is waiting for a sister. A neighbor glances up and gives me the nod bridges use when they've held and will hold again. On my way home, I slip a blank fire map into my pocket and write turn toward your name across the clean side. I don't light anything. That night we eat toast like it has been newly invented. We fail and fail differently and fail in ways that don't require anyone to stand under red letters pretending to know which way will save them. The room does not demand a verdict. The morning remembers its job. And when we say tomorrow out loud, it means only what we let it mean.